So today we're going to be looking at potting on, transplanting, pricking out, whatever you want to call it, these seedlings, which, as you know, I usually start them off in something like this. Sometimes I use tiny little cells to put the seeds in. These are calendula, and I've got calendula. This is Pink Surprise, and I've also got Ice Maiden as well. And these were sown in here on the 3rd of February. It is now the 16th of February, so 13 days ago. Germinated inside, and then moved outside when they were just starting to turn green, and they've been just out in the greenhouse ever since then, and they have withstood a week of very, very low temperatures. So they are hardy annuals, and I did shove some fleece over them just to be on the safe side, but yeah, it just shows that, yeah, they've survived. So step by step, what I do next. So first of all, I decide which cell size I'm going to use. I've just purchased these, which they are nice and sturdy, so these should last me a nice few years. If this is too big for your drip trays, you could cut them in half. I had to buy these in bulk, but there's lots of other options. So these sorts of things have been saved from the garden centre over the years. And I've actually put this compost in this one already. So this is a nice little set of 1, 2, 3, about 24 in there. You can get 15s. So these are modules, and I've got, as I said, 24 little cells in there. I've just got a few things at the ready, but basically, first thing we need to do is clearly fill up these with compost. So I've got my mix here. So I've got my multi-purpose compost mixed with some perlite at the ready. And here we go. So I'm just going to fill the seed tray with the compost, not jamming it in at the moment. So you do want, you don't want too much air in there, but at the same time you don't want it too compacted. So I'm just putting a nice big layer on here. This is obviously way more than you will probably be needing. So a good way just to, I don't want to be pushing my fingers in there and squashing everything so it's really compact, but I also don't want it, I don't want there to be lots of air pockets in there. So just giving it a good old tap, and you'll probably find that round the edges are the ones where your seed, the compost is going to settle a bit more, just the way it is. So I'm just going to keep tapping. Whoops. And then smoothing off the top. Okay, so now I've got my tray full. Now this was reasonably, this is maybe just a tiny bit on the dry side. You don't want it sopping wet. So a good thing to do is now just to give it a little bit of a water and just let it drain for a bit. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a watering, nothing too dramatic. And I'm just going to leave that there for half an hour or so. Okay, so I have got my labels at the ready, and you might find a fork or something similar. This is a little tool that must have come free with something or I picked up at a show, and something to make a hole with, and this a pencil, a twig, anything will do. So I think I will start with these ones. So I'm just going to make a little prep hole, which I might need to make a little bit bigger. I'll just make a few of those. And then you're going to use your fork, just trying to see if you can see how far the roots go down. No, you can't really. So I'm just going to use my fork to go as deep as possible. Okay, look at the root on that. So that's a really good sign. Where's my little doobly gone? There it is. Okay, so in it goes, so nice and gently. And I'm going to go down low as I can. So I've just got those that pair of leaves poking up. Calendula are a great one to start with. They seem to be really, really easy to germinate, and generally pretty nice, strong plants. That's not quite such a good root, but it'll be fine. So down it goes. I'm actually probably going to take my gloves off in a minute. I do find it easier just to deal with it with my fingers. And I'm just going to carry on and pot up. I'll see how I go. Whether I do the whole tray or whether I do half and half, I'm just going to wait for a moment and see. Okay, so I did manage to fill this 40 cell module, so now they're going to go into my greenhouse. Right, so I've decided where they're going to go. I've got a big gravel tray up here. Gravel tray is just basically a tray that is not going to leak water, so make sure you don't get a seed tray with holes in it. So gravel tray, I've got some capillary matting in here which was reused from last year, so that's a little bit damp, so I'm just going to keep an eye on that, make sure that is just damp but we're not sopping. This time of year I've got to be really careful I don't overwater. That's when you overwater you have problems with botrytis, as when it's like a fungal disease, and when I get it I shall show you, but you want to avoid that. So it's better in a way to keep them slightly on the drier side, but obviously not too dry, you don't want them to dry out. Okay, I'm going to pop them up here. There we go, all ready, just keep an eye on those. Okay, so I have managed to get my calendula transplanted, some salvia, I think that is there, salvias, clary sage transplanted, all quite small admittedly, and some cornflowers, I think that's cornflower there, transplanted. Still have a few things to do. I think the scabious is about ready. and the corn cockle is about ready, and there's some nigella there as well, which is ready. So run out of time today, but hopefully tomorrow.